The Grow My Cleaning Company podcast helps owners of cleaning companies just like you to grow your company and yourself so you can make more money and finally get the time and money freedom that probably got you into this business. Discover how to automate and create systems that allow you to grow like crazy without losing control. If you dig the show and want to show some love, subscribe, rate, and review on iTunes. It really helps. Enjoy the show. Hey, Cleaning Nation, Mike Campion here with Janelle Newell. We are recording this just, 11 days prior to 2024 arriving. So we've got a phenomenal topic that she's going to lead, and I'm going to, throw things and make her life difficult, which is what to do or how to plan for, not if, but when things go sideways, because they will. Right. So we spend a lot of time talking about and making plans for things to go right, which is great. And don't spend a lot of time articulating to ourselves what the plan is going to be, not if, but when things go wrong. And that's a great way to set ourselves up for failure. Did I miss anything on the intro, Janelle? Or
no, that's absolutely it.
All right. You dive in as you say things that I find interesting, which you tend to do. I will jump in with questions, comments, and rude remarks. Sound fair?
Perfect. Sounds about right, Mike. So right now, a lot of people are doing their end of the year review. They're doing their plan for 2024. Oh my gosh, I'm going to bust out. I'm going to do these things. And they're great plans, right? So the problem is that life happens. Right. So I'll give you a real life kind of version of this, which is, okay, I've got this cleaning business. My plan is to convert all of my employees from 1099 to W-2 by the first of the year. Oh gosh, I'm in December 19. I was supposed to hit these benchmarks. Life happened. My kid got the flu. I had 2 cleaners call out because they got the flu. I'm now cleaning. I haven't done anything towards this project. Oh my gosh, this thing isn't going to happen. Now, what often happens, it will feel like so overwhelming and you'll be in such a death spiral with the project that it's like, throw the hands up. Great, I'll do this sometime next year. I just can't deal with this. When what we also need to have is, okay, this is my plan. I want to convert these employees to W-2 by the first of the year. What happens if things go sideways? This is your resilience, like building in the resilience. So we teach, Suzanne and I teach a lot of mindset tools, right? There's a lot of things that we can do to get ourselves back on track. Revisit your plan, revisit your why. Why will it be so great to have my business with W-2 employees versus 1099 employees, right? We talk about the why. We talk about, having great inspirational playlists to, pump us up when we're feeling down. So we give you all of these tools, but we almost need to build the tools into the business plan. So what that looks like is maybe if your plan is, okay, I'm going to give myself a month to get everybody converted. Once a week, I'm going to give myself 15 minutes in the calendar as a check-in. Hey, is this plane flying level? Am I on track? If I'm not, take that system check. How am I feeling about not being off track? If I'm feeling really frantic, what are my tools? What do I need to do to adapt and recover from this dip in the plan? Right? So do I need to revisit my why? Do I just need to revisit my timeline? Because it's not failure to say, gosh, I've been cleaning now full time because I've got 2 cleaners out and my kids got the flu and I just don't have the time. I'm going to push this out 2 weeks rather than call it a failure. Oh my gosh, it won't happen. Resilience could mean being flexible. Resilience could mean coming back to why am I doing this in the first place? Yeah, that's right. I'm really excited. Okay, I'm just going to put the time in the calendar to get back on track with my original timeline. right? So it's giving yourself like the opportunity to check in with your plan and recovery from life happening, right? So that it just doesn't feel like, oh my gosh, I'm going to throw my hands up. Because that's often where we see CEOs, business owners, like go sideways on their plan. And then it's off to the next project and they lose sight of this original thing, which would have been great.
Yeah, I think that folds into kind of an overlying mindset I see of successful people, which is really choosing what to focus on. And I think anytime we're experiencing our business poorly, we're focusing on the wrong thing. So if we haven't gotten the result that we wanted or the progress that we feel we should have, we can compound that problem by focusing on all the things we shouldn't have, by shitting all over ourselves. I should have done this. I should have done that. I should have done the other, which is fine, I guess, but it's certainly not going to get you any, you're continuing to not do the next thing that is the right thing. So you're kind of doing the thing that you're judging yourself for in the moment. Like, I should have been doing this. Well, while you're shitting all over yourself, you're not doing the thing that you should be doing in the next place, right? So that choosing of the focus is wildly important. And so there's really two ways I think we can screw this up. One is focusing on the past that can't be changed and blaming ourselves. If we're going to focus on the past, focus on things that we've done that would build the story that we can do this. Well, I've put things off before, things didn't go before the way that I wanted, and I've still gotten the result that I want. That would be a healthy look at the past. Just beating yourself up, not as healthy, more of a debilitating thing. And if we're looking at the future, we can look at all the things that are undone and get overwhelmed. Once I do this, I got to do that, the other, and it can just seem overwhelming. Or we can look at the very next thing and say, well, this is the thing I've got to do right now, because there may have been 1,000 things to do in the past that you haven't. Well, you can't do anything about the past. And there may be 1,000 things you need to do in the future. You can't do anything about the future. And you certainly can't do more than one thing now. So giving yourself permission to just be in the moment and say, this is what I'm going to do, and set expectations if need be, right? If the plan was A, B, and C, and we feel like we should be at D and we're only at B, great. Well, the plan then was starting at A and being at that date. Well, now, and I was hoping to be at D by this date, but I'm only at B. New plan. What do I need to do next? And just move on with it, right? I think we feel there's some sort of nobility, or like, if I make this hurt, I won't do it again. I don't know if there's a real correlation to that. I think it's more, if I just get back to work and get back to focusing on what I need to focus on, I'll start feeling the way I want to feel and getting the results that I want to get. Am I oversimplifying, or is that in line with your vibe?
Yeah. But again, sometimes we need to rely on those mindset tools to kind of, okay, if I'm at B and I thought I was going to be at D, I'm at B. Gosh, that inertia, sometimes we just need one of those little mindset tools to go, okay, here's the thing that I need to say to myself, or here's the thing that I need to do. Here's the playlist of awesome that I need to put on to pump myself up, to bring up that energy, to get that motion back in place.
Okay. So right. If I'm there, what's the next step? So I think the first thing we do is ignore too long, right? Like, we put it off, and then either we probably give up or start beating ourselves up. So what would be an alternate reality that you would suggest when we start getting that feeling in the bottom of our stomach, the pit, that we're not on track, right? Like, right. We've all kind of been there. We were in school. Oh boy, the teacher assigned this thing 2 months ago, and that was, and it's due in a week, and I haven't done anything. And, we know how to probably ineffectively respond to that. What's a more effective way to respond to get the results that we want and to experience our business and our lives the way that we want? Hey, amazing people. You may have noticed we don't sell a dadgum thing on this podcast. We don't allow ads. The only ask I can ever have of you guys is, if you dig the show, for you to spread the word and share so we can change as many lives as possible. Literally, it'll take you 5 seconds to give us a great review, and I can't tell you how much I appreciate you as a listener and value the gift of your kind words. Now, back to the show.
So, on a deadline like that, It first of all, a deadline always gives us a huge incentive, right? So as an entrepreneur, you set your own deadlines. So sometimes they feel like false deadlines or something we can negotiate. When we owe it to somebody else, we're usually pretty good. In which case, it's like, okay, yeah, great. I got a week now to do this. I got to do all of these things. Let me lay out a plan of action that's going to have me be successful and turn the paper in. For a project, again, it's just recognizing like, oh, and that's why I say sometimes we have to schedule in regular like system checks, right? Yep, you got the plan. I was supposed to be a D, but I'm looking at it and I'm really a B. Okay, so if I trigger a regular system check, first of all, it helps us notice that we've been avoiding it. It's been shoveled under the carpet for a week now and I haven't gotten to it. So, okay, now I've got to look at it because it's in my calendar to look at it. And then again, like, what do I need? Okay, I'm at B. I haven't made any progress. It's feeling pretty yucky. What do I need to feel good about this again? What do I need to get that energy up? What do I need to feel inspired and just take that action? And that's where sometimes we need to rifle through our deck of tools. Now, Mike, you are possibly one of the most self-motivated, driven people I've ever worked with, right? So for you, this seems like, wow, this is so just clear and easy. I just need to take a step and implement. But often, and this, you could see it in the clients, right? They get these little stumbles and now they've lost they've lost the forward progress. And so they just need something from their toolkit to kind of amp them back up and get the energy back up. Right. And so, like I said, I keep coming back to visiting the why of the project. Why is this going to be so great? What is this going to allow me to do? Do I just need to get my energy up? Do I need to channel my inner Mike voice that says, hey, just go do this? Like, the little poke on the shoulder. Do you need just to call a buddy and say, okay, I'm not doing this. I need somebody to tell me to just go do it, right? There's all kinds of tools we can use. And I think sometimes it's just important to remember, especially if you're not already like wildly self-motivated, that we have to build in like, yep, it's going to go sideways and I'm going to recover because I've got all of these tools in my toolkit and I'm just going to have these checks along the way, right? So sometimes we put those checks in, well, it always comes back to this, but we put them in by hiring a coach, right? The coach now is our outside, the paper is due, I owe you something, right? Our coach is kind of doing that. Well, where are you versus where do you think you should be? So here we go. But you can do that yourself, right? You can calendar that conversation yourself. And then make sure that what are the things that help you get back in action. Because everybody's going to be different.
Well, and it's going to change from time to time. And yep. I guess the encouragement I would give Leading Nation is not even encouragement, just what I found works for me. And I appreciate Janelle saying, man, you're super self-motivated. And I want to share from my perspective on the inside. I don't always feel that way at all, right? So for me, I have found, again, Janelle made a really good point of having someone else involved, right? So a paid coach is handy, a friend is handy, and the level of commitment you have to that person and the relationship you have makes a difference, right? If I make a commitment to my wife, I might feel different about that than if I make one to a friend or to myself, right? A lot of times we let ourselves off the hook, for any of you that have worked out. For me, if I'm working out by myself, my show up rate is probably 80%. But if I've got a friend, it's 98%. If I got a trainer that I'm paying, also very high. So I think the big thing is just understanding there will be problems and looking. Actually, one of the best things I've done is I've done my best to take the word problem out of my vocabulary and put in opportunity, right? And if you go, so let's say I thought I'd be, further ahead than I am, and I get there and I'm like, well, I should have been this, and here's the problem, and I was stuck. If I just go, what's the opportunity here, right? What's the best part about this? What could be? And there's a lot of them. You could go, well, I know that problems tend to expand or contract to the time that I have left, right? So I have less time, therefore I'm probably going to get this thing done. Another thing that you could make it mean is, historically, for me, I don't know about you guys, Clean Nation, but as much as I enjoy good times, making good money, things going well, being happy, I don't think there's really any growth. If anything, I kind of go backwards. Sometimes you get a little pride. You think you're a little smarter than you probably really are. And then the old pride goes before the fall from the Bible's been pretty good in my life. I've seen that to play out well. And when I'm getting my teeth kicked in, boy, it does not feel very good. Pride feels a lot better. I'm king of the world. I know everything. I'm a genius. Feels great. But I don't grow. And every time that I've been in a time like I would just do anything to get out of this, oftentimes I was being forced to build the muscle that I needed to do the next thing. So for me, one of my tools is really just to look at myself and go, what is it? Where's the opportunity here, right? We want to go to the problems. And the funny thing is, one man's problems, another man's opportunity. There is no reality in, nothing is until we make it what it is. So I wanted to have 80% of this done by now. I have 20% of it done. That's a fact. But until I decide what that means, that could be great or it could be terrible, right? Like, I forget the old story of, there's some sort of, I think it was a Stoic, a philosopher, talking about, a kid got a new horse, and that was a good thing. And then the horse got stolen, and that was a bad thing. But then the army came and he couldn't go because he didn't have a horse, and that was a good thing because he got hurt. But then, and like, you can kind of, no matter what the fact is that feels good or bad at the time, in retrospect, you can look back and go, see it from a lot of different angles, right? When you're in the middle, that it's harder to do so, especially when you're in pain or discomfort. But looking back, we can almost always look at lots of stuff, even family's death, right? Differently, or say, well, that, that wasn't great, but there was a silver lining, right? We could choose to experience that silver lining or look for that silver lining, or how could we create a silver lining at that point, as opposed to waiting. So I don't want to get too far off track. I think I've given all the feedback I can give on this. Janelle, what are we missing? What's the big bow you can put on tap for Cleaning Nation win in 2024, or even 2023? If you're listening to this now and it's the end and you're like, golly, last year at the same time, I thought I was going to double my business. I've got some people, you guys may hear that, you can text me through this app I've got where you guys can text me. And I just texted everyone on my list. Did you hit your goals for 2023? And got a lot of no's, right? So my next question was, what do you think's holding you back, for those that I got the no's from? So again, I'll do my, we as a Grow My Cleaning company will do our best to help you, but there's more of you than there is of us. So you can ask yourself that question. Did I hit my goals for 2023 or next month? Don't wait till some arbitrary, 2024, end of January, this week. And if not, what's been holding me back? Where's the opportunity there? So that's my big global bow. Janelle, what am I missing, or what other value can you bring to Clean Nation?
No, it is. It's an expectation of resilience. Like, absolutely. I'm going to figure it out, and I'm going to keep this thing on track, and know that you have tools, and we all, that all looks different. But I think it's important to just remember, like, that's a piece of any plan you have, is expect that there's going to be an opportunity for resilience, to recover, to keep moving forward, and that you're going to figure it out.
I will wrap it by leaving two quotes from the same guy. Winston Churchill, one of his favorite speeches of mine is, I don't know how many nevers there were, but he just came out and everyone addressed the crowd. It was never, 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 never give up. Never give up. Never give up. That was it, to the whole country. And this guy is, arguably the key reason, we're not all speaking German right now, depending on how you read history. for those of you that wanted a little more eloquently, success is just going from failure to failure without loss of enthusiasm. That's really it.
That's it.
So all we do for a living is coach owners of cleaning companies. And if I had to pick good looking, rich, smart, experienced, good at marketing, good salesperson, people person, good at cleaning, whatever, pick a skill, or I'll never give up. I don't know. I don't think there's a lot more, because again, it's not over till you die or give up, right? So if I'm like, this is just the end of it, I can't, this business I'm going to throw my hands in, but I keep going 5 years from now, that was just that point in my business. But if I give up, that was the end. So, all right, Cleaning Nation, hopefully that has been wildly helpful. If you want more stuff, go to growmycleaningcompany.com. Tons. I think there's over 1,000 free podcasts there. If you are one of the people who are like, I have not hit my 2023 goals and I'm not on track, you got a couple options. One is, well, 2024 will be the year with no plan or backup. Just somehow you're going to work harder, or it'll be better. Or you can do something different. Make a plan, check in with that plan. And if part of that plan is, you know what, I'm going to reach out to someone that's got a proven system that's helped hundreds of people actually get this result as opposed to trying on my own, reach out to us. Like I said, there's nothing on the website for sale, but if you reach out to anybody at the team, we'll try and get you the help that you need. So if it's us or something different, do something different. Don't do the same thing and expect different results. That's crazy. See you soon, Cleaning Nation.
Well, here we are at the end of the podcast, and you made it. Great job. I've got a little bonus for you for sticking through with me. But like I mentioned before, if you got value out of this podcast and you want to show a little love, subscribe, rate, and review on iTunes, Spotify, wherever the heck you're listening to this thing. Share it with a friend. Share the love. And as a special thank you for those of you that stuck with me to the end, how about I give you my personal phone number so we can text? It's a great way for me to get to know you, your business, your goals personally. So shoot me a text now, 602-932-6431, 602-932-6431. I am the only one who responds to these texts, and I will personally respond to everyone I possibly can as long as this number is manned. Don't know how long we're going to keep this at the end of the podcast, so grab it now, 602-932-6431. Give me a text, say hey, can't wait to meet you.